Let's take another look at the CC Modifier plugin. And if you saw the earlier version, it was really basic, didn't have a GUI. So I went back and designed the GUI and added some other features. Basically, what it does is it takes in any controller and changes it to any other controller. So for example, if I'm in post-production working on virtual instruments like BBC, if I move my mod wheel, you'll see mod wheel is by default dynamics. And because my plugin here is turned off, this is actually just passing my mod wheel. I'm moving the mod wheel on my Nectar keyboard. All right. So if I wanted to change that to another CC, I would turn this on, and let's say go into this menu, and let's make that expression instead. I move my mod wheel. Now I'm outputting expression to that instrument. Now the way I have this set up, I have it set up in direct input. It doesn't have to be on a track. I have my Nectar keyboard coming directly into this plugin and the output of the plugin coming into the track. So I can record and play any CC I want in post-production. And again, the way this works is after you record a song, for instance, an orchestral song, you would go back and use continuous controllers to breathe more life into it. You know, whether that's going to be with expression, dynamics, different things. So moving on. So you can choose any controller from this list. And the basic things are there: volume, balance, pan, expression, modulation, so on and so forth. And here, for instance, in this plugin, I believe some of these are already mapped. I'm going to right click and see if I can tell. I think that says 19. So if I go to controller 19, I think I can control the reverbs in there. I can actually. So you see how that works. So rather than having to acquire a fader pack with a bunch of faders to try to control a bunch of different CCs, I can do it all from the modulation wheel on my small keyboard, 25 key keyboard. So there's some other things going on here. So, and you notice that when I move the modulation wheel and sync controller, you see the value here from 0 to 127. Now this section is for control. What I did was I built in remote control. So if I hit, for instance, C1 on the keyboard, the output automatically goes to modulation. Now I'm transmitting modulation. If I hit D1, it goes to CC2. So that way you can have some direct control using those common parameters, which you use a lot, which is CC2 is used a lot for vibrato, and E1 is volume. And you see the volume slider here moving. F1 is going to be pan. See the pan control moving here. And G1 is expression. So simply by hitting those MIDI notes on the keyboard when you're doing this kind of overdubbing, automation, writing, you can simply change the controller that you want to target by hitting a key on the keyboard instead of coming up here and using the menu. So all in all, this is working out pretty well. And I like the way the GUI is coming. I'm going to tweak up a few more things, but it's working really well. I didn't mention this. When I hit a key on the keyboard, you see the actual key number show up here. 36, which is C1. 38, which is D1. So on and so forth. But otherwise, it's going to show controller values. So all in all, that's working out pretty well. I'll share this at some point. But what I would want to do, and this is the feature I want to add before I share this thing, I would want to add another controller, for instance, expression, to hit a button and have it send whatever controller you have here plus a second controller that you choose here at the same time. So this way, it would actually send these two controllers at the same time, and both of these would move at the same time. So I'm going to add that, I think, to this plugin before I think about sharing it. And it's probably going to be a button up here that just says combine or combination or something. But that CC modifier is coming together pretty well. I like it so far. I'm still tweaking the GUI, but there it is.